You're listening to Nappet, Nestor and Pilgrim in the Tumult, an altered TCG podcast. This is the voice behind Nestor, Justin Hicks. You'll get In the Tumult in episode 1, but here's an introduction to what Altered is and who I am. Feel free to skip if you are already acquainted. Altered TCG is a trading card game that platforms the world of the Tumult, and of Asgartha, and of Exalts and Eidolon, and so much more. It's innovative, modern, and it's fun as heck. Their business model got me interested, and the gameplay gave me the confidence to kickstart it, but the lore is what got me hooked. Let me explain why. On January 21st, 2006, Randall Munroe, the bright mind behind XKCD, posted a webcomic with colored bubbles and a quote from The Sandman by Neil Gaiman. The character is Barbie speaking near the end of Game of You, Volume 5, and it goes like this. Everybody has a secret world inside of them. I mean everybody. All of the people in the whole world, no matter how dull and boring they are on the outside. Inside them, they've all got unimaginable, magnificent, wonderful, stupid, amazing worlds. Not just one world, hundreds of them. Thousands, maybe. After reading that, I bought the books in search of this quote, and was blown away by what I found in them. I was inspired and began to write myself about an orchard with trees that bore fruit that were entire universes and the gardener that tended that orchard. I kept writing and iterating, and eventually came to a world that was covered by a desert made of psychic sand. Sand that shifts into forms that echo the thoughts of those nearby. For a time, I called the sand figures manifested in that desert Eidolon, the same word Yoshi uses for the thought forms summoned in the altered universe. I eventually changed what they were called to Sema, after I named the desert the Decima, meaning of or from meaning. So, when I read the word Eidolon in the flavor text of the Lyra Chronicler card, I had to find out more, and what I found was a world that was not mine, but which settled on my brain like the favorite and well-worn coat of someone else who happens to share your exact Neil Gaiman silhouette. I smiled when I first saw Yoshi's X profile, @1000cats, which read Narrative Designer for @Altered TCG, Eternal DM RPG Player, and Neil Gaiman Worshipper. Writing is hard. Sharing is harder. Finding success with an audience, harder still. To find Yoshiaki Mamura doing it, and doing it from ground so clearly fertilized by the same material that fertilized the orchard, and I'm now saying basically all of the fiction I've attempted to this point, was so encouraging. Here is someone supported by a team and a community, and creating something fresh, relevant to the modern era, and, I'm happy to say, positive and encouraging without being saccharine or blind to hardship. Sure, it is a world, first and foremost, built for a trading card game. It's not The Lord of the Rings or Lord of the Flies or Catch-22, and it's not The Sandman. It's not a book or a TV show or a theater release movie, though I think it could be someday. It exists to support a product, but it can be more. It can support a community, and man, I feel like we could use more community, especially ones grounded in unity. The Tumult is a metaphor for so much, but one thing I hear Yoshi shouting with his text is that we can face it together without losing ourselves. That sounds good to me. That sounds like a message I want to amplify. If you haven't heard of Legend of the Five Rings, I recommend you search The Greatest Story in Gaming, Legend of the Five Rings, by Matthew Colville on YouTube. If a community could build a story like that together in the 90s, think of what we could do today. That's why I got hooked. My background, the themes already present in the lore, and that this is a story that we can all have a hand in telling. I like it, and I hope you do too. In this podcast, I will play Nestor, a foreign exalt looking into Asgartha through a Gestalt anomaly. He is making a plea to the Oneroi for help as he travels through the tumult, seeking to join Asgartha in their effort to stop the tumult. This plea is what you'll hear, and through this plea you will learn about Asgartha, Nestor, and the tumult. Him and Pilgrim are alone out there, for now. But the tumult is an interesting place. Who knows what or who he'll run into. I am a poet now, more than an author. But in this not a book, not a movie, not a TV show space, I think there is room for creative experimentation. This is like one giant game of D&D with a huge community. Yoshi, the lore master, is our collective DM. This is my character sheet. Where's yours? In celebration of the launch of Altered, and to do my part in building the Altered community, I'm hosting a character creation contest in the Pilgrim's Nest Discord, linked in the show notes. I'll be giving away promo cards I get from Gen Con events as prizes for first, second, and third place winners. Submissions are open until end of day, September 12th. Check it out. And if you'll be at Gen Con this year, look for me. I'll be wearing a shirt with the Pilgrim Whale glyph on it. I hope you enjoy the show.